Okay, so have you ever felt trapped by a financial system that wasn't built for you? So many of us are told that living on disability benefits means our financial story is already written. But what if that's not true? What if there's a way to take back your power and start building real wealth? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disabled Wealthy, right here on the Mini on Cam YouTube channel. And I'm yelling. I'm your host, Minnie St. Clair, and I'm so glad you're here today. For far too long, the narrative around disability and money has been one of scarcity, limitations, simply surviving. But here at Disabled Wealthy, we are breaking the status quo where 1 in 6 people with disabilities live in poverty, and poverty rates for people with disabilities remain twice as high as those without disabilities. We believe that financial empowerment, wealth building, and living a life of true freedom are not just dreams, but achievable realities for people with disabilities. Now, today's episode is going to be a bit more personal. Instead of just hosting a guest, I'll be giving you a real update on my own journey living with relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis and multiple chronic health conditions, navigating new disability supports, and what it looks like to keep moving forward during a MS relapse. I'll also be sharing updates from my financial peace journey and how I'm working on building stability while living with episodic disabilities. So, the other disability that I also have is multiple sclerosis. Wait, no, right? Multiple sclerosis and bipolar disorder. In my head, I said like bipolar disorder. So, yeah, bipolar disorder first, then multiple sclerosis, episodic disabilities in that they fluctuate in symptoms and treatment plans and crisis plans. And when do I see a doctor for what issue? And sometimes I see a doctor for both issues, and sometimes I see them for one over the other. And it's been a roller coaster. Before we dive in, if you're finding valuable in these conversations and want to support the work we do here at Disabled Wealthy, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can also be a generous supporter by scanning the QR code on my right-hand side. Yes, right hand. Scan the QR code on your screen, which will take you directly to my Ko-Fi link. Your support helps us continue to bring these vital discussions to our community. And let's get started. Okay, we're back. Right. Okay, so because there's mute on the microphone and mute over there, I'm trying to make sure I only press one. So, introduction, we did that, but transition to F.U money number. Personal goal. I mean, I had ChatGPT and AI try to help me make this outline, and I haven't really read it. So just give me a second, because I'm like, what? What is this? Personal update to financial strategy. Path to financial peace and building stability requires mastering the system, which leads to the concept of disability F.U money number. Right. So I was looking at the definition of disability F.U money number, and turns out the internet says I did it first, which is fantastic. But yeah, it's something I noticed in the financial independence retire early community movement wave thing going on over there. And majority of financial planning or personal finance, they leave out disability as if it's not going to happen to you only when you access insurance. That's not my reality. That never happened. So like bipolar disorder, 2004 to 2008 is symptoms, is diagnosis, is medications, is in and out of the emergency room. And then as soon as my bipolar disorder was stabled on a working medication, and I saved myself from being homeless, like being evicted from my apartment, getting on ODSP, getting the back pay to cover the back pay, legal fees to pay my rent and stay in my apartment, avoid being homeless and keep my rent control apartment, I get multiple sclerosis. Like 2011 November, I'm on ODSP. We pay all my bills. We pay the hydro. Everything is set up for pay direct, where ODSP automatically sends my landlord and the electricity company their payments every single month. And then I'm getting stable and I'm looking to return back to work. Guess what? I can't move my left arm. What is that? They find lesion. So I still think I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2013. But my current neurologist, the lovely lady, read all of my notes from August 2013, or just a whole year of 2013, till 2019, where I'm seeing the neurologist. We know there's lesions in my brain, but because they don't fit specifically the McDonald criteria of having more than one lesion and different time and space in the body, I didn't fit the full criteria. It was clinically isolated syndrome, CIS. 2019, I get more symptoms. My toes are curling, my hands are numb. Luckily, like same type of symptom, same types of annoyance, but more frequently and more like taking over my whole day. And I was doing MRI every single year. So from first MRI, I've never really actually no. There was a time where I didn't think I had MS, and I went skydiving because I had no symptoms. The symptoms were gone. So those 2 or 3 years, yeah, I partied like 1999, like I did not have multiple sclerosis or anything majorly wrong with me except for bipolar disorder, because that is the information I had at the time. So I was operating based on information. Then 2019, and then the pandemic. The pandemic really showed me, girl, you have MS. Calm down. You like slow down, calm down, go to a neurologist, get on treatment, look at my options. The options I got at that time were Copaxone and teriflunomide. Teriflunomide was a pill every day. I thought, take the pill every day, add it to the regimen of taking a pill every day with the antipsychotic medication. Great. Then I'm also suggested take vitamin D. Well, vitamin D prescription is not covered by ODSP, which is Ontario Disability Support Program. So there's MRI every year, neurological exams every year, where I typically get poked with a safety pins, popsicle stick, anything sharp they have in the medical office, I get poked with. And I get my knee knocked or different parts of my body knocked with a tuning fork that they use for music. Every single time I see this thing come out, I start laughing in my head. I kind of want to sing The Sound of Music when they do it, or supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I just only because elementary school, for school choir, the music teacher would use the tuning fork to get the class ready to sing the songs. And yeah, we sang supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Christmas stuff, the school song. And then we had recorders and played hot cross buns. And I think Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yeah. So anytime I hear the tuning fork pop out, I'm like fourth grade all over again. So now what's happening? So Friday, I got the multiple sclerosis nurse to call me. She asked about what I'm choosing for my next disease modifying drug treatment for multiple sclerosis, because the teriflunomide is no longer effective. And I'm going to go on Mavenclad, and we're determining when do I start Mavenclad, because I have to get my hepatitis B in the vaccine current. You know, I paid for it. I don't know what happened to, because my body, like, I don't know, got rid of it somehow. Because it's like you take certain vaccines, and when they check your blood, they're supposed to be able to check if you detect it or have an immunity to it. And for whatever reason, the hepatitis B for me is non-detected. And I'm like, but we paid for it, so it should be there. I paid a lot of money for the hepatitis B vaccine, along with it was Twinrix, but then apparently there's a different kind. Like, so and now we have to figure out how to get that paid for in Access Link, and then Mavenclad needs to go through its insurance, which is probably going to be Exceptional Access Program and Ontario Disability Support Program. So this is where it's like very annoying of not having your own really good insurance to cover medical expenses like multiple sclerosis or bipolar disorder. And being on ODSP, they cover some things, but not all things. So I'm always anticipating that something is not going to be covered in Ontario Disability Support Program because that's how the program is designed. So policy mindset. The goal is to teach disabled people to leverage Canadian and provincial benefit rules, especially ODSP, to build exempt wealth and achieve policy literate autonomy and not benefit refusal. Yeah, this is part of it. So, like the health benefit part of ODSP, you just have to be prepared that whatever your disability is and like other diagnosis or strep throat, the antibiotics were covered, but not um, the gargle to reduce pain and some other thing. Like my doctor prescribed like 3 things because when I had strep throat and I can only get the antibiotics. So then I was taking the antibiotics and Tylenol until the strep throat was gone out of my system. But ideally, I would like to be able to take everything my doctor's prescribing to try and make myself feel better so that I recover faster. But now I've estimated now I need about $3,000 in an emergency fund, sinking fund for medical expenses. It's not even an emergency fund. Like, you kind of have a rough idea. Sickness, cold, flus, others will happen in your lifetime. As long as you're human and living, it comes with the territory. So chat is open. And I'm still in the introduction. Yeah, I'm still in the introduction. And I should probably play the video for the Disability F.U money number because we're talking about it. And we're talking about policy mindset, transition to the F.U money number. It's basically financial independence. The FI number is 25 times your annual expenses in your investments. So if you were spending $40,000 a year on expenses, 40,000 times 25 is $1 million. But the way I figure out the Disability F.U money number, it is the amount of money I get in a year from disability benefits times 25. And then I had to adjust it to include the new Canada disability benefit of whopping $200 a month to adjust my new Disability F.U money number, which ends up being, I had it written down in a spreadsheet, which is not open. Oh no. The level of things I planned for this gets me to be motivated about my own journey, but also realizing that I don't think the community is really helping people with disabilities at all. In the sense, like, I had an income before my disability. I had a really good income. I became psychotic. And then I got admitted to the hospital and they're telling me, oh, you can't work until, focus on treatment. You can't tell that. Like going into treatment and having no plan of how to keep your apartment, especially if it's a rent control apartment. How do you make sure bills are still paid? So you're not coming back to, like, you go into treatment, come out of treatment and go back to bill collectors calling you. That's what it did to me. Like, that's why I filed bankruptcy in 2008 or 2010. Bankruptcy, no, consumer proposal, then bankruptcy, consumer proposal. I did it 3 times. And now I'm in credit counseling. And it's only because I wanted to do something different than consumer proposal and bankruptcy. I wanted to figure out how to pay off my debt and be in control of my money so that I can walk into home ownership in the next 3 to 5 years. So Disability F.U money number, including the Canada Disability Benefit. Oh, I changed it. Right. Here's my spreadsheet. This is why I'm like, what happened? Okay, this tab. I don't need my thumbnail. Remove the thumbnail. Wait, no, hold on. Oh, I have to add back my thumbnail. Which one is it? Okay, that thumbnail. But if I go here, not closing thoughts. We're not there yet. We're maximizing the number. Okay, maximizing the number. This one, I need to take not share screen, move that. Then I move here. Then I share a screen. Stop sharing. And then share screen. Okay. And then you go over here. And then, yes. Okay, good. Okay. So the reason I said I changed the Disability F.U money number, I actually decided to combine it with two numbers. 733 is the number you get from Ontario Works. It has not increased to inflation since ODSP was increased to inflation in 2016. Right? Give me a minute. Is it in the spreadsheet? No, I took it out. Okay, so that's not helping me at all. So let me Google it. What year ODSP indexed to inflation? 2022. So since 2022, Ontario Works welfare has still been $733 a month. The average rent in Ontario is $2,500. Ontario Works is something anybody could access while you're waiting for EI to kick in, short-term disability to kick in, long-term disability to kick in. The very same, I have employer insurance waiting to kick in. And if you run out of your savings, the 3 to 6 months emergency fund, try to bump it up to 2 years, maybe. While you're waiting for that and you ran out of savings, because let's say you only save like $5,000 because you figure that's all I have, or you're too busy traveling all the time and you lose your job, car accident, whatever happens to you, then you need to access government assistance. The first place you're most likely going to land on is Ontario Works. That's $733 a month. It's the safety net available for everyone. Even Ontario Works is available for everyone in Ontario who's paying resident, lives there, has documentation to be eligible. You start there. And guess what? It is not fun. You won't be able to make it through the Thunderdome. I tell you that much. just like I'm not. You just because I've been through it. I've been through it since 2004. Ontario Works, $500 something a month. Then I went back on it 2009. Then I was on it first. Then I got on ODSP. So for me, I've always been on it as an adult. The minute I turned 18, leaving home with no job, like no job that paid into employment insurance long enough for me to have a job. I did have an income. Making money online on the internet as a webcam model was my source of income, but I wasn't saving that money because two things were happening. People were telling me the webcam model was not a real job, even though the paychecks were coming in my bank account regularly and paying all my bills and living expenses. And if we went out for drinks, I'm buying your drinks. So, and that's the reason I got credit. It's the reason I got my secure credit card of $2,000. And the bank gave me a credit card and locked my $2,000 in the GIC. It's the reason Wells Fargo gave me a loan for my mattress that it cost me $2,000 for a mattress that still ended with bed bugs anyway. It's the reason I traveled, went to Jamaica with family for a funeral. Like, webcam has been there for me as an income source since 2003. And as far as I know, it's still there. Yeah, it's as far as I know, it's still there. And I'll log on this evening because I feel a little bit better. I can log on. So I wasn't saving, and then I wasn't investing. If I was investing at 18, like actively investing in stock markets or mutual funds and continue it and kept it going, I'd be in a completely different financial space. But because other people who had an opinion who didn't like my income had to give me their opinion and didn't really care what happened to me, even though they said they love me, created a financial trauma that I would not keep my own money that I was making. I would spend it or give it away or some it went away. I never held on to it. Then 2017, I got sick and tired of like, I'm 32. I have no money in retirement. What am I going to do when I turn 65? It freaked me out. And then when I checked Service Canada to check up on my CPP amount contributions or what I would get, it's $30. 30. $1 a day for 30 days. I can't live on that because I learned at that time too with the webinars and presentations from John Stapleton talking about how to retire on low income in Canada, because that's all he talks about. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to access CPP disability and get $30 guaranteed income supplement and maybe get $700. OAS, which is old age security, then gains, because gains is when your income is less than like $20,000 for being a senior. I know. So to avoid being the crazy cat lady who eats cat food because you didn't plan your financial future, I had to get my butt in gear and ignore everybody's advice who's not living in this house. Y'all don't get a vote. And then part of the journey being on disability benefits and all that was learning policy benefits, which we can go into this section, building my exempt assets because I'm on Ontario Disability Support Program that had me reach to a destination of financial peace and independence. Like, and then also there was like, I went back to my old financial books, not Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey was a new book I added. So I have David Bach, Susie Orman, Gail Vazloxley. I had her books first, but then it's a lot of content to read and I have a step-by-step plan of what to do with it. Dave Ramsey has a step-by-step plan. Step 1, save $1,000, you start an emergency fund. Done. I've done it more than once. By Friday, I'll have $1,000 again. Baby step 2, pay off all debt except the mortgage. I don't have a mortgage. I do have debt. I have $16,000 in debt. $1,700, $1,710 is the disability overpayment. I will bump that up to the top of the list to pay off for debt. Then I'll work on credit cards. I have 4 credit cards. I'm keeping 2 credit cards because I learned from the bankruptcy trustee, you typically only need 2 trade lines, active trade lines above $3,000 for 2 years. And then a credit score over 680 to be qualifying yourself for a mortgage, or at least look at what could you qualify for a mortgage. Now, where I got tricky in having multiple credit cards, it was medical expenses and expenses for my business. I couldn't figure out what steps to take to run my business with cash because primarily Dave Ramsey at that time was talking about personal finance, household finance, not entrepreneurship finance. Then in the middle of me searching for entrepreneurship finance, how do I manage my bank accounts? I landed on Mike Michalowicz's Profit First, the 5 bank accounts, profit, owner's pay, taxes, operating expenses. I forgot the other one. I should probably look that up before I move on. Profit First accounts. I just need the image. Why did it make it so annoying? Why? Can I just find it? Image. Is this it? Okay, you have income account, profit account, owner's pay, taxes, operating expenses. It was great. But the thing I didn't like about it was always setting aside money as profit to take out later at the end of the quarter as a bonus for me being the owner. I'm more focused on I take out a salary from my business so that I can live on. My business pays me a living wage instead of me hoping an employer pays me a living wage. You feel me? Yeah. So that was profit first got me like, okay, here are 5 bank accounts, manage your 5 bank accounts. Where does your money go before I run off and go spend it? It gives me time to pause. And with bipolar disorder and the symptoms that come with it, like impulse purchases and the hypomania, manic, psychosis, balancing in between those stages, I need something that slows me down. This does it. Like my emergency fund, I was using it so much, I had to move it to a bank account that holds it for 10 days before I have access to it. Then I have another account that holds my money for 30 days before I have access to it. I do get interest on those accounts. They're pretty decent. But the fact that it gives me like 10 days to slow down before I access my $700, which is a $1,000 emergency fund, it'd be $1,000 by Friday, gives me a chance to slow down, which is what I needed. Then so Mike McCallum's Profit First did not really work as well because the whole profit account managing, like you put money in, then every quarter, January, April, July, October, you take money out and it's a bonus to spend on whatever you want. As a business owner, I just didn't need that extra step. So insert Donna Miller's 5 bank accounts. Way simpler. The money goes in and it stays in there for that job with Donna Miller bank accounts. Operating account. So income goes into that account. All the business expenses come out of that account. So for me, income comes into one of my accounts. Then I have my operating account because I have an e-wallet that holds my funds in USD, US dollars. Then I decide which Canadian bank accounts get my USD converted over. Most of my operating expenses in my business come off my credit card. And then we hold cash in another account. Keeps my life easier. Because the account that's prepaid cash account, there's no foreign exchange fees when I spend on that account. So that's how I get myself to practice spending operating expenses in cash. Fantastic. Taxes. I already know about taxes. We have income taxes, federal and provincial taxes, CPP taxes. I did not enroll in self-employment employment insurance because I thought it was stupid. And plus, I wouldn't really qualify for it because most of them all cover you 26 weeks. And 26 weeks, I did the math, $18,000. So, I sound like a chickmunk when I did that. Yeah. So then business savings account. This one, I'll keep it for the business because there's things in the business I have to buy for the business, like new cameras, new equipment, wigs, makeup, that. As long as it comes out of that account, we're great. As long as I'm trying not to, you cannot mix personal and business monies together. They live separate lives. The only time business and personal meet is when personal is getting paid a living wage from business. That is it. Then there's owner's investment. This account I really like. This is how I decided to make my Disability F.U money account, my specific segregated account for my Disability F.U money. It's my taxable investment account. That one is not a segregated fund. Like you could open a taxable segregated fund, but it'll fall under the $100,000 exemption under life insurance 4.8 policy. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted an account that as soon as it hits $40,000, $40,001, that's when I know I'm no longer on disability benefits. I wanted an account that would help me move faster off of disability benefits while also managing my business in a way that is sustainable, it's profitable, and it'll carry me through age 64 and beyond without ODSP's interference. And I'm part of ODSP. These case records don't really understand small business. I don't understand. Like, how you not read a book or take a course? Every community college that we have in Ontario has a business program. All of them do. I looked. I already picked one I'm going to for 2 years. And then the owner's personal account. I already talked about that one. So yeah, that is profit first. And Donna Miller bank account. But I like Donna Miller's setup better. Because there's no, like, when I pay myself an owner's salary, like I said before, I just pay, that's it. It's owner's gross salary. Then 15% of my owner's pay goes into retirement accounts. RDSP, RRSP, TFSA, first home savings account. The business pays the taxable account. That's 15% of the business, and then 15% in retirement from personal. But because I'm a sole proprietor, it looks like I'm investing 30% of my income. Yeah. So I like it. I just have to stick with it. So that was personal goal, Disability F.U money number, policy mindset, Canadian and provincial benefit rules. I'm on Ontario Disability Support Program. I'm self-employed. I'm saving and investing. I wrote it down in my notes somewhere. The 1%er. Oh, right. It's in the 1%er. I'll get there soon. We're not there yet. Yeah. Okay. We will play the video. Which one? I have like 4 of them now. I made more of these little explainer videos with AI that are so fun. So I'm going to find a new one to see if I didn't play that one before. Okay, this one has... Okay, we go with the one, the map. So I have to share my screen. That's a spreadsheet. I'm not in the budget right now. Okay, this is script. Put the script over here. I don't need this anymore. We'll put you over here. Okay. So I think it would work. Pause. No, don't play anything yet. Okay. I think it'll work.
Into a really powerful blueprint for disabled entrepreneurs here in Canada. Today, we're diving into a really powerful blueprint for disabled entrepreneurs here in Canada. This isn't just about surviving on social assistance. It's a guide to actually building wealth and finding real financial freedom while on it. So let's get right into it. This quote from entrepreneur Camille Deandra Stewart it really hits home. It perfectly captures the heart of the problem we're talking about today. That painful clash between your own drive to build something and a system that sometimes feels like it's designed to stop you in your tracks. So what exactly is this dilemma? Well, it's a frustrating catch-22, where the very things that make a business successful, ambition, hard work, earning more, are the same things that can get you penalized by the systems meant to be your safety net. To understand this, we're going to follow a journey through programs like the Ontario Disability Support Program, or ODSP. Now, these programs are absolutely essential, but they come with really strict limits on your income and your assets, which, as you can imagine, creates massive roadblocks for any entrepreneur who's trying to grow. Now, to really get a sense of the stakes here, let's look at what it actually feels like to be caught in this trap, because this isn't just theory. This is someone's real life. Okay, so picture this. You've built a profitable business, you've got financial stability, your self-esteem is high. Then November 2008 hits and everything collapses.
Suddenly, you have no savings, no sick leave, no safety net at all. That kind of free fall is just devastating, not just for your bank account, but for your sense of self. The only support on the table was a program called Ontario Works, and the maximum monthly payment? $599. I mean, just think about trying to pay rent and buy groceries with that. It was impossible, a recipe for constant stress that led to a terrible spiral of depressive episodes. And this is where the story takes a really shocking turn. After finally getting approved for ODSP, the official advice from a caseworker was to just stop working, to give up the business, abandon all that ambition. And that wasn't just terrible financial advice, it was psychologically crushing. So, when you're faced with a reality like that, how in the world do you break free? Well, it all starts with a huge shift in how you look at the system itself. And this right here is the turning point. It's the moment of realizing that the rules, the fine print that feels like a cage, could actually be learned, mastered, and then used as a powerful tool for your own advocacy and your own strategic growth. The key was hidden deep in the system's own fine print. ODSP Directive 5.4, a specific policy for self-employment income. The thing is, this wasn't common knowledge at all. In fact, it was a rule many caseworkers either claimed didn't exist or actively told people not to use. And the power of that one hidden rule is just immense, because under that directive, an entrepreneur on ODSP can now earn up to $1,000 in net business income every single month without losing any of their support. That's a game changer. And that's the big takeaway, right? Deeply understanding policy isn't just about staying out of trouble. It becomes the literal foundation for your own empowerment, for smart financial planning, and yeah, for actually building wealth. Okay, so you've got the knowledge. How do you turn that into a real, actionable plan? Let's break down what's called the Sovereignty Blueprint, a practical system for building that financial freedom. A central piece of this strategy is the 5-bank account method. It's brilliant. All your business income goes into one account for operating expenses. From there, you pay yourself a regular wage into your personal account. Then you split the rest. Money goes into a tax account, another chunk goes into business savings for emergencies, and finally, you move funds into an investment account to grow your long-term wealth. This way, every single dollar has a job. Next up, you start thinking about insurance as a tool for empowerment. Instead of just taking what you're giving, you can strategically layer your coverage. You could pair ODSP with a private plan to cover pre-existing conditions. If you're a student, you can use those great student health plans while your earnings are exempt. Or you can make use of the new Canada Dental Care Plan. Just remember, you can't combine that one with private dental. It's all about knowing your options and mixing and matching. But the wealth building doesn't stop there. The blueprint uses specific financial tools that actually work with the system's rules. The Registered Disability Savings Plan, or RDSP, is huge. It's a powerful savings tool with government matching. You can also use things like TFSAs and RRSPs with specific products called Segregated Funds to build assets in a way that's actually exempt from ODSP's limits. So what's the end game here? What is the ultimate goal of mastering this entire blueprint? Well, it's about nothing less than completely transforming your financial reality. This whole journey really comes down to a massive mindset shift. It's about consciously moving away from that feeling of not enough that the system can really drill into you, and moving towards a place of control, of autonomy, of financial sovereignty. And that freedom, it has a number, a clear, concrete benchmark, growing the business to a gross income of $5,000 per month. That is the magic number, the point where you can afford your own top-tier private insurance and have enough in savings to become fully independent. And that, right there, is the ultimate goal. This isn't about learning to just survive inside the system forever. It's about building a business and a financial foundation so strong that you can successfully graduate from it, leaving the system behind for good, and living life on your own terms. Ultimately, this entire story proves one thing. Knowledge is power. Mastering the rules of whatever system you're in is always the first step toward rewriting your own future. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What fine print in your own life might just hold the blueprint to your freedom?
That one is very nice. That video is very, 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 very nice. I like it because it gets people to think differently about disability, money, government benefits. That for me, because for some people I met on disability benefits, it's their permanent life with their disability benefits and also the income support that comes with it, where I can't live with that. I like me, like sitting here every week talking about it, showing up with a relapse and remitting multiple sclerosis, and my mental state is being shuffled around. I don't know. Pick a game that shuffles things around. That is what it feels like right now. And I can't do it. I can't. Like my brain has to find a way to get back to work, making money online in my business. Every time I feel like I'm yelling, it's because my earbuds are in too much. Yeah, so that is, I need to watch that video. Thing is, I play it and walk away because I need to take a little break. But I need to actually watch that video. I watched part of it. Like, I like it. I saw the part where the 5 bank accounts I talked about with Donna Miller in it. And yeah, being on disability, Ontario Works, 2009, 2010, 2011, where Ontario Works was $599. That is the maximum shelter allowance now, $599 in Ontario Disability Support Program. Maximum shelter in Ontario Works, let me find it, is Ontario Works shelter allowance for a single person is $390 today. Where are you going to find that? Plus, there's almost 1 million people on Ontario Works and Ontario Disability Support Program today, and it represents 1 in 15 people in Ontario. Yeah. So, like, yeah. And I posted on the Reddit, the subreddit group, that Ontario is open for consultations on their poverty reduction strategy planning. I gave them a good piece of my mind. Yeah, I did. Let me share it on screen what is it, and put it in chat. And then I probably should put in the description and chat. So yeah, Ontario has find out how we are working to reduce poverty, to empower people to succeed. Read our poverty reduction strategies and annual reports. It's really weird how they say one thing, they issue a completely different thing, and the thing that they issue doesn't actually do the thing they say they want to do. So even when I read it and I live it and I have that lived experience, knowledge of decades of being on social assistance, like no children, not married, just me, social assistance. The poverty that I go through by myself is the reason I'm not having children, which, yes, bothers my mother, but she's not honestly not going to go through what I have to go through taking care of children. Like my mom taking care of me, she had a full career as a nurse. And she wanted to work overtime, she worked overtime. She wanted to put us in sports, she put us in sports. I don't have that. I could barely take myself to travel or out to dinner by myself. So, yeah. Okay, so 2004 annual report here. Oh, I can test out share audio on the tab. Wait, wrong tab. Wait, stop sharing. Because there's one I have with the thumbnail that I want to keep. So there's one with the thumbnail, and then there's one without the thumbnail that I share screen. And they're different because I want to keep the thumbnail when I need the thumbnail, because I really like my thumbnail because of in the middle of the thumbnail we're 3 Black professional entrepreneurs in business casual suits looking like flight attendants or a pilot. The one in the middle, gentleman in the middle, is in a gold wheelchair holding a map, and the lady beside him on his left, big hoop gold earrings, pixie cut hair, pencil skirt, high heel pumps, holding a map. And the gentleman on the right is bald with a beard, and sideburns, holding a compass. They're in a maze of gold. So the gold represents opportunity. It represents the system. It represents prosperity and wealth and abundance, but it's also the system we're in because it's a maze. So, because how here, the annual on the screen here that I got, here's the 2024 annual report from Ontario for poverty reduction strategy. They sound very optimistic in their words. Read about how we are working to protect Ontario and lift people out of poverty by helping them build skills and find well-paying jobs, making life more affordable and connecting them with the right supports and services. Now, whenever I've seen Now Toronto post video clips of this company is hiring jobs like the CNE, I think Woodbine, you know what? Tens of thousands of people show up. Like waiting for, I don't know, 200 positions of jobs. This feels like it's false advertising from the government of Ontario. And now I'm wondering if my screen reader can read this message. Well, that's annoying. It's not working. I have to figure out how to get that thing to work. Let me see something. That's annoying. It's not working. Me checking sound. Yeah, I didn't hear it. Like, I can't test it here. I had to test on my phone while it plays, and it wasn't working. And I think for audio output, speakers, there has to be a way I can do it because I did it with the other one. Because if the screen reader is reading, maybe. Plus, I'm reading the screen and I didn't share the screen. So, like, how's that supposed to work? So, I think either way, because I read through a lot of policy and text and government websites and things like that. I don't want to read all the words on the screen all the time. So, the screen reader is supposed to be my assistant in helping me. And then I found one that sounds more human-like than robot to make it easier. So it just made things a little difficult when I'm trying to read everything. Unless, hold on. I don't know. I don't see. This was trying to get ready before I went live and I couldn't. It's okay. I'll figure it out next week. Okay, back to my script. And I saw Kinky Yogi is in chat. Welcome. And thank you. Yes. Juggling, camming, life, things I want to do in my 40s. It's exhausting. And I'm very happy there's no children involved. Very, very happy. Because there's no way I'd be able to do it with children. Like there's no way. Like I'm barely now getting like my hand feeling normal again after like how many weeks of dealing with muscle spasms in my hands where like it would make a claw. A claw in my hand means I can't do anything. I can't do the things I need to do. And I finally washed laundry the other day. It's been sitting there for 2 months. Yeah. So yeah, it's just been a roller coaster of a ride. And then like what campsites now, they're doing the promotions for Halloween. So like, do I buy costumes for Halloween when I broadcast on the sites? I didn't plan for it. So I just have to show up and be there and make money and then plan it all out for New Year. So it's been very, very, it's very, very, very. So all right. I had here maximizing income defining disability FU money number. So yeah, my exact number, I changed it because of the 733 Ontario Works and the 1,408. So I'll put the number on the screen. So I changed the number to put the commas in the right spot. So I changed it to 1.4. So 1,408,733, which not on the screen. There. So I changed my disability FU money number to that number. Instead of the exact amount of money that I get for disability benefits, plus this number will increase with inflation. So when ODSP increases by $40, actually no, 60. Wait, what did they increase last time? They were 1308, then they became 1368. ODSP rates, what were they? Is it 2024? So yeah, they were 1368 in 2024. Then they became 1408 in 2025. So I think next year it's going to be 1468, but we don't know until July until they calculate the index inflation. There's three of them. I don't know why they made three, but there's a specific consumer index to inflation that they calculate to add on to ODSP, and it's the cheapest one. It's the government. So what measure of inflation is used to increase ODSP? It says consumer price index adjusted annually. How it works? It says a CPI, but I don't think it's a CPI. I really think the lowest number out of it is what they take, or they see the CPI and they cut in half. I think that's what they're doing, but because it doesn't. They started the index to inflation when ODSP was $1,169 for the month. So it was already below the poverty line by half. And then they indexed to inflation at the lowest. And then they're still keeping the lowest consumer price index to index with inflation for Ontario, where your only hope, really, this is why I read the policies so much to everybody, is to understand the policy directives to maximize your disability FU money number and build wealth based on the exemptions in the policies of Ontario Disability Support Program. Now, if you're in British Columbia, if you're in Alberta or Nova Scotia, the policies over there are different. But the asset limits are roughly all the same. I looked. Everything kind of keeps everybody under $150,000 of assets. Have some, have half. Like, have $25,000 in assets and investments that grow over the next 10 years to have you not live in deep, deep, deep poverty as you get older. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, I know it sounds very, very difficult to do, but it's your best shot at survival. This is why I do it. And oh yeah, I got lesions in my brain and my spine. It's not like, oh, my disability disappeared yesterday. We wish. Only God could perform that miracle. So, because it's two sides. So, like, people on disability benefits are unable to work. They can't get to a level where they're not below the poverty line. You say, feel that way. I did. I used to feel that way. Then I stopped whining and did something about it. Now that I've done something about it, and this, I see me doing something about it is better than doing nothing about it. I'm going to do something about it. Especially now that I know exactly what the something about it that I'm doing is, and it's working. Every time I do my budget videos, every time I update my net worth, like if I log on to my registered disability savings plan account right now, and it's going to show me $118,000 with my name on it, I'm happy as happy can be. I can't get any happier with $100 and something in my account with my name on it. Every time I play the Notebook LM video exclaimers of all the content and education and material and stuff I've done in the last 5 years, I get super motivated to make my account bigger. Like, because especially when I read, oh, the screen reader doesn't work. Maybe it's window. Maybe it's on window. I'll try something. Because RDSP and ODSP. Last week I read Registered Disability Savings Plan Policy Directive. Tried to read the screen reader, where it was reading the summary of the policy. It said something that was no maximum on how much assets you can have in your registered disability savings plan. I'm happy so much with that. You have no idea. Then, of course, I wrote my notes. What if you don't have your registered disability savings plan? That's not a problem. Honestly, if you're on Ontario Disability Support Program and you're not eligible for having your registered disability savings plan, invest in segregated funds. You open them with a company that has life insurance products. I have mine at Equitable Bank. It's different than EQ Bank. It's where they sell the life insurance products. Like there's RBC, then there's RBC that sells life insurance. I think BMO has it. They call them guaranteed investments over there. But they're very, let me get smarter about money definition. Where is it? Smarter about money, and then invest. We need segregated funds. Segregated funds. Okay, explained. I'll put this in chat. Okay, share this screen or share this window. And then it shares everything. This is very weird. Share audio. Tab. Yes. Me at the bottom. There we go. Okay, so here's the article on segregated funds. I'm wondering, let me try something. My natural reader, can you read it?
Segregated, or SEG, funds are an investment product sold by life insurance companies. They are individual insurance contracts that invest in one or more underlying assets, such as a mutual fund. Unlike mutual funds, segregated funds provide a guarantee to protect part of the money you invest, 75% to 100%. Even if the underlying fund loses money, you are guaranteed to get back some or all of your principal investment. But you have to hold your investment for a certain length of time, usually 10 years, to benefit from the guarantee. And you pay an additional fee for this insurance protection.
Okay, I heard natural reader read it out loud. I need to work on the other one to read it out loud, or maybe it's not built into the feature of the software. Either way, I like when the screen reader reads it out loud. Makes my life a little easier. So right. So I have a segregated fund that gives me 75% or 100. I need to go back and check the contract of them. But they're basically my tax-free savings account, my registered retirement savings plan, and my first home savings account. And how there's they have other reasons of being a really good investment product, but for the purposes of being on Ontario Disability Support Program, investing for the Disability F.U money number, and to exit off of disability benefits out of poverty instead of deeper in poverty, this is one of the tools that I maximize in my financial planning and in my budgeting videos that I do every month, where now it seems to be weekly updates to remind me I said what I said, so I'm going to do it. So principal guarantee, depending on the contract, 75 to 100% of your principal investment is guaranteed if you hold your fund for a certain length of time, usually 10 years. If the fund value rises, some segregated funds also let you reset the guaranteed amount to this higher value, but this will also reset the length of time you must hold the fund, usually 10 years from the date of reset. Mine has it until the age of 100 right now. I'm 40, 60 years. I mean, my grandmother, mom's mom, she passed at 91. So it's possible to have to 100. If you cash out before maturity date, like it just has a lot of rules in there that when I read, where is it? I have to go find it. Policy Directive 4.8 in Ontario Disability Support Program. This is where people like who feel defeated, they can't open a registered disability savings plan, but you can open a segregated fund. You can still invest. You can still build wealth. You can still exit off the disability benefits and tell them to insert swear words. Leave me alone. Like it's just, that's not it. Where'd it go? 4.8 life insurance. Okay. Funds up to 100,000 held into a trust that derive from an inheritance or proceeds of a life insurance policy received upon the death of a beneficiary policyholder are not considered assets for the purpose of determining financial eligibility for income support. Let me show you on the screen so you can see it, and I will put the link into chat so you can go read it later. Okay, I was here. Cash surrender value of life insurance policies up to 100,000 is not considered an asset for the purpose of determining financial eligibility for income support. That's really much all I need to know. September 17. And September 17 is when ODSP changed that personal asset limit from $5,000 to $40,000, but they never talk about life insurance policies in the announcements. You have to go find it in the policy directive. If I can find it, you can find it. It didn't take me that long to find it. In fact, me finding out about life insurance policies, I saw segregated funds. I read it, but I didn't understand what segregated funds were. Then someone in my Facebook group, she sent me the segregated fund thing again. Then I did more digging. Then I remember I have contacts with financial planners who sell financial products. So then I made an appointment with my financial planner that I've stayed in contact with since 2012. The first thing he asked me in our meeting was, do you know about segregated funds? I just said I needed to meet with him about my financial future and planning. He asked about segregated funds. I said, you know about segregated funds? The timing was amazing and perfect. Because in that I had new information. Then I'm learning how to go execute the new information to set myself up for financial peace and independence. Like, okay, I don't walk into a bank to do my investments. I work with a financial planner that I talk to one-on-one. They open the accounts based on their licensing and qualifications that they're eligible for. Then we meet. Then they send me the financial statements. So like, they're the broker. Are they the broker? No, they're licensed dealer, mutual fund dealer. They have a. I, I should remember. I checked the job description to answer all the questions for registering people in their exams. But yeah, I can't just go open investments. Like I can, but not really, because even if you open them on the self-directed account, you're giving them instructions, but you don't execute the instructions. Someone who's licensed to execute the instructions does the instructions. When a doctor gives you a prescription, you may know what you would like to take to help make yourself feel better, but you can't walk in and be like, I would like to have this. The pharmacist asks you for a prescription, or your doctor says, yeah, I can give it to you, but I need to write you a prescription. Because the over the counter medications, they work, but each one of the over the counter medications all has a prescription level of the medication that you need to talk to a doctor or a pharmacist, and they order the prescription because they had a conversation with you before they order the prescription. Financial planners, financial advisors are kind of the same way. You talk to them, you have a discussion, you decide on a plan. They say, great, I'm going to set you up on that plan. They're going to write a prescription. Their name is on that prescription. Their name is on your financial product in your bank account. Like when I log into my bank account, I check the financial statements. It says the name of my financial planner on it, and his license number and his contact information and his address. Everything is there. Then when I go give it to my caseworker, and they're like, how come you have this? I say, you can contact my financial advisor and he will tell you what that product is. And you can reference back section 4.8 life insurance policies or registered disability savings plan 5.10 or 4.10. Which one is it? 4.10. 4.10, registered disability savings plan. 5.10 is loans. 5.4 is self-employment. 5.1 is treatment of income. 4.2 is treatment of, 4.2 is real estate. 4.1 is definition of assets. These are the things that I worry about in Policy Directive Ontario Disability Support Program. Not, oh, my shelter allowance is, I have the maximum. I can't worry about it no more. I have the maximum. Special diet, I have the maximum. We did that already. Medical necessities form, I have the maximum. So once I maxed out all the main part of ODSP benefits, I had to work on the other parts. So where does the table of contents start? This. No, where is it? This. Yeah. So I already applied for Ontario Income Support, ODSP. They know I'm eligible. I provide them all the documentation. They reviewed all my assets. I report on my income every single month. Then they calculate my income support based on my reporting on my income support every single month. Income calculation, benefits. Here's utilities, heating, assisted devices, dental benefit, drug benefit, guide dog, extended health benefit, hearing aids, mandatory special necessities, mobility devices, vision care benefits, discretionary benefit, employment transition benefit, work-related benefit, traditional health benefit, traditional child tax benefit. There's no children, so I don't think anything has children in it. Pay Direct. I was on Pay Direct, but I stopped Pay Direct when I proved to them I'm capable of paying my rent and managing my own affairs on my own. Recovery of overpayment, $1,710.11. We're paying that off first on the Dave Ramsey Baby Steps 2, pay off all debt except the mortgage. Spouses, there's no spouse, there's no common law, there's no boyfriend, there's no anybody who's trying to plan a future with me. It's just me, myself, and I. So I don't really have to worry about that. And then everything else is just staying compliant, legally compliant with the policy directive. It says last update, March 29, 2022. If you have not read the Policy Directive Ontario Disability Support Program ever or in a while, it's a good idea to go look. They will change things without notice. And you'll know they change things without notice because I read it live on here and it's something that I don't remember seeing or know they changed it. I give you my real reaction to it. Okay, so 5.4. Oh, my spreadsheet. Right. Can I just play the video or the spreadsheet? Because that would be easier. Actually, no. There's stuff in the video of the spreadsheet that I need to make another video of it in the new year in 2026, July. And let me see if I can find it. Actually, no, maybe I don't. No, like I made it complicated. Once I understood it, I made it complicated. That's true. Like I understand the policy directive. I understand how to build wealth on it. I understand how to invest in the right accounts. But I also found a ways to make it complicated because I now find it easy. Yeah. So here is the spreadsheet. It's available in the Buy Me a Coffee store. You can QR code. You can go get one in the Buy Me a Coffee right now on the right-hand side of the screen and support the channel. Then it will help me make sure it stays current every single year. Because you basically like, as long as ODSP policies and the government keep indexing to inflation, it'll go up $60 roughly every year from now. And if they keep you allowable earned income, $1,000 that you can earn and still keep your benefits and still keep registered disability savings plan as segregated. Like there's so many things in the policy, the way it's set up right now, because I know how to use all of them to better my financial future. They have to stay there so that I can exit off of disability benefits. If they change for whatever government political reason changes, it changes my strategy and it changes my attitude towards government benefits. Because in one half of their mouth, they're saying they're here to help you. We're the government. And the other half, get back to work, get a job. I vote, but y'all make it difficult to do it when they're never really sticking to, just stick to one. Like I wish they would, but they're not. And my brain hurts trying to break down political people because I have more things to worry about. So we're now in October. Payment date is coming October 31st, which is Friday. My ODSP payment is coming of $1,657. $1,697.85. Because I still have the disability overpayment. That's now $1,710.11. They take away $81.15 a month, which is almost $1,000 a year. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Now that, like, see, once you know better, you really do better because you know better and you know what you're missing. When you didn't know, like if you didn't know what to compare it to and you didn't know what was missing and you thought this is all there is, like the $599 of welfare in 2004. I wasn't really looking for more things out of social assistance because I didn't know there's more to look for until I just got sick and tired and it was just unacceptable to me. And then I just, yeah. And especially when I looked up something online and it led me to the disability policy website. Then I started, the website for ODSP didn't look like that a couple years ago, like 6 years ago. It was horrendous, hard to navigate, hard to read, small print on the website, wasn't searchable, wasn't like user friendly. They changed it. But they also act like they didn't change it, but they changed it because the way they say policy page update last published, those dates have always been there. So like how something says 2017 or 2013, the policies are always there. It's just making it more digitized to be more accessible so that you can read it, everybody could read it. So what, like, because of the way that they have to make sure that the policy for Ontario Works and ODSP is accountable to the taxpayer, because the taxpayer is the one who would access these benefits when they become eligible to access those benefits. This is why some people are like my family. They're like, yeah, we're okay with you being on benefits. You know, that's where my tax money went. But it's more than that. It's not just, oh, yeah, I'm accessing benefits because you feel it's okay because your taxes are going there. It's how did I end up there? That's why I play all these little explainer videos. How did I end up where I ended up? What's my origin story? What happened to me after I became diagnosed with bipolar disorder? There's a lot of things that happened. And for me to summarize 22 years of my life, it'll take a while, but at least AI has me explain it in 6, 7 minutes, 8 minutes over here, 10 minutes over there, or a 1 hour presentation where we can feel like, oh, okay, I fully understand what happened. Because what happened is why you make certain choices. If the things that happened to you didn't happen, you would not be making the same choices. So that is where we get there. So yeah, I've been working on this spreadsheet for 5 years, give or take. And it was difficult to make the spreadsheet when the income threshold was $200. Before February 2023, if you earned anything above 200, ODSP would claw back your payment by 50% on the dollar. Cut your check in half. It makes it very, very difficult to do anything in your basic living expenses. Before that, 2013, September, anything you earned was reduce your disability in half. So if you earned $1, you lost half a dollar off your disability check, which means people were literally scared to work. But they were told we're getting assistance. If you're giving me assistance and you make me scared to work, how's that assistance? These are the type of things I write in the letter when I talk to people in my political office, in my political writing, my MPP and MP. Also, the Ontario deduction report, wanting people to send in individual stories and consultations. Yeah, I'm born here. I live here. I'm low income, self-employed, disabled, minority, marginalized, and you claim you're helping me, but I also don't feel like you're helping me. I had some words to say in that letter, which I need to find a copy of it somewhere. I know I said it somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, I had to make the spreadsheet. So now it's pretty simple. So like when you get the spreadsheet, it has this chart here. Let's say you made $5,000. How my video says 5,000 US dollars is my number. If it is 5,000 Canadian dollars gross income, and my business expenses are 75%, 3,750. I kept the math simple, and it's because 75% now, if I earn $1,000 on disability benefits, ODSP, above $1,000, so out of the $1,697, they will take away 75% of that on my next payment if I earn more than $1,000. So based on the spreadsheet and the goal and the video and everything like that, to keep everything on the same story, if I made 5,000 gross income in my business and I had 3,750 of business expenses that is approved on the list from ODSP. They have a separate list in CRA. I don't know why. My net income profit in the month would be $1,250. That means $250 is above the $1,000. The $250 is how they determine the starting point to do the income deduction from the $1,697.85. It turns out it becomes $187.50. So the $187.50 is minus from my next payment of $1,697.85. For the most part, I do not worry about the chart until I make money. And then I do my business record keeping in the accounting software. Then when I reconcile my accounting software with the financial statements and all my records, then I look at, do I have net income above 1,000 or under 1,000? Because there's some months that I have business expenses, there's no net income, it's zero, or it's negative. I still report it to ODSP. Just that I only trigger being eligible for disability benefits when my business income, net income, profit is over $100 in the month. If it's under $100, like I don't make any money to cover living expenses, like pay myself a living wage, I still get my disability benefits. I still get my $1,697.85. So it's a lot of juggling for my personal living situation in reality right now. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's disability is different. Everyone's mindset is different. Everyone's optimism and pessimism and catastrophizing and fortune telling, thought distortions are all different. That is how you move through the system. But if you want to hit the magical number of $1 million in assets that are non-exempt assets from ODSP, I highly, highly recommend Dave Ramsey Baby Steps. Like, I'm not even, I just gonna put them on the screen and then we'll end out for today. Because those baby steps are why I'm here. Like, this is why I'm here. I said it earlier, Friday, I have $1,000 in my emergency fund, my starter emergency fund. I'm paying off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. I have 16,000. Where's my spreadsheet? Wrong one. This one, that one. My debt right now is $16,691.55. It should be paid off based on money towards debt of $5,000. I use the $5,000 number a lot, but I also use that $5,000 number a lot because it represents the asset limit for ODSP before September 2017. Allowable cash in your business is $5,000. Credit card amount limit that a person I was living with in 2003 got from a bank. He got $5,000. Oh, right, the stockbroker. Right. So when he went to apply for a credit card, he also got $5,000. So I tend to pick numbers that I easily remember based on ridiculous stories in my life and policy directives in the policy. It just keeps my brain sharp and remembering why I need to hit that number, because it's all about the Disability F.U money number. Right. We're on closing thoughts. We are. So yeah, the Dave Ramsey Baby Steps. This, I don't have to think about anything. I really don't. Not really. What? So $1,000 in my savings account Friday. Fantastic. November, December, January, February, I'm paying off debt. As long as there's no emergency happening, because the emergency happened already in August. Now we're settling my multiple sclerosis. We're choosing new prescriptions. We're going on treatment. Once I've stabilized in treatment and stabilized the muscle relaxers and all that, I focus on paying off credit cards, keeping 2 active because I like to be a homeowner, which is baby step 3B. Save 5 to 10%, 5 to 20% for a down payment on a home. $40,000 is that number. $40,000 is also non-exempt asset number for ODSP, but I'm allowed a primary residence, so I can ask for an extension to buy a home with the $40,000 down payment. You see how many things I have to remember with this thing? The level of I have to remember all of these different little rules in the policy. A regular person cannot handle it. I've seen them. I've told them what I have to do, and they're like, oh my God, that's so difficult. No, it's not. It's written. The instructions are written. I just have to go read the policy and do the thing. Dave Ramsey baby steps are written. Dave Ramsey has a study of 10,000 millionaires. He studied how many people became a millionaire from following his baby steps. Donald Miller, he has his course. He runs his course all the time. He has people in his alumni and his cohort and coaches who teach his coaching program over and over again. He has a repeatable framework system of results of people around the world who do the thing, who can do the thing, who've done the thing, who said they've done the thing, who give testimonials of doing the thing so that it can get done. So when people tell me, oh, it's so, no, everything is written. I don't have to remember any of it. I just remember where did I find the information, but I don't have to remember how to do the thing because it's already written right there. Yeah. So I think we're at the end of the show. It's been really, really wonderful having everybody here. If it's your first time seeing my face and you want to see more of this face, typically on Saturdays between 10 and 12, 11, I try to, it really depends. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But Saturdays, live stream, I'm here breaking down my financial journey. Sometimes I have a guest. I had Patrick, disabled investor, on, Allison Hayes from Thriving While Disabled on. I may have to see who, like, there's people I talk to who are interested. I need to see if they're still interested. I may have Allison come back because I have to plan out the episode for Allison to come back. I started it, just I had relapse with muscle spasms, so I had to pause it. So I have to go back to it so that in November, hopefully I can have Allison on. But Thanksgiving in America, we'll see how that goes. So maybe January, we'll see. Either way, yeah. I'll see you on the next one. Smooches. Bye.